Hi, in this video I am going to go over how to enter data and edit data on Scan. First, you go to your data collection, and for me I am going to open up Colorado Plateau, CPMAB. I'm going to go over to the little pencil, and that will open up a sitemap for my collection, and I will create a add a new occurrence record. So it's fairly basic. If you have any questions about any of the fields, there's usually a question mark that will take you to a Darwin Core field description on the Symbiota.org website. The different sections are divided into collector info, identification, the lowest level of identification that you know for this particular specimen. Ideally, it's a genus or species, but you can even put in order or class if you want to. Locality, country, state, latitude, longitude, if you know it. If it's not on the label, I typically suggest waiting and doing batch georeferencing later on. And then there's a miscellaneous category: habitat, substrate, host, a general description if it's on the label, any occurrence remarks that might be in field notes or on labels, specific field notes, whether it's most things on entered into the Scan database are going to be adults, but they could be larvae, pupae, or even eggs. And then there's other categories. If there's more than one insect on a pin, maybe 3 ants on a point, you would put down 3. If it's an alcohol vial with 50 chironomid larvae, you would put down 50. Then there's various other things like your sampling protocol, preparation. Most everything is going to be pinned. Reproductive condition. Established means that's really more for plants, whether it was reared or not. And then various fields for curation, and including bases of record. And the default is going to be preserved specimen, but it could be, if you have an observation collection, it could be an observation. And then once you fill all of this out, then you can click on add the record, and it will add a record into Scan. Now, if you want to edit a record, you go back to your collection, click on the pencil, and go to edit existing occurrence record, and it brings up this dialog box that you can search for specific records based on collector, catalog number, who entered it, when it was entered, the date it was modified, whether it has images or not. You can fill all of that out. Or if you want to just display everything in your collection, you can just hit display field. And in this case, it basically brings up all 68,950 records that are in our database. And then let's say I want to click on the very first one, which was collected by Richard Funk in 1965. There's probably nothing on here I want to change. A lot of records you want to edit because you've initially only identified it to family, and you've since gotten a species identification. This is where you would do it. In this particular case, I may want to add additional comments that I may have gotten from his field notes or meeting with him personally. But once you, it could actually be that, for example, in your longitude, you forgot to put the negative sign, and it ended up in China, and you want to correct that and put a negative sign. Whatever you do, Let me see if I'm going to delete and then add the negative sign. So it looks like I've saved something. Well, no, it's saying that I haven't edited at all. If I have edited, then I save it and I can go to a new occurrence record. Or I can go back to my table and simply edit something else. And that's it for the basic adding data and editing data.